After the Brooklyn Nets' 7th straight loss, more questions about the team's future have started to emerge. In their latest showing, the Nets were blown out at the hands of a depleted Utah Jazz team playing without Rudy Gobert and Joe Ingles. Brooklyn is currently sitting in the playoff zone in the standings, and you can't help but wonder how long it will be before this team implodes. But how did we get here? What can the Nets do? Was this always destined to happen? Why are the Nets in panic mode? The juggernaut super team that was meant to win multiple championships has inexplicably yet to catch any sort of momentum as we get closer to the NBA playoffs. They've lost 8 out of their last 10 games, featuring embarrassing defeats at the hands of the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Sacramento Kings, two of the worst teams in the NBA. Sure, Kevin Durant has been out for this stretch due to injury. Kyrie Irving has been on and off the lineup as he's only allowed to play home games. But this team still has James Harden, a former league MVP who's still in his prime. The most concerning part about this is that only 2 of these last 10 games have been at home, meaning Kyrie Irving suited up for 8 of them. The Nets have still lost games they have no business losing. Like, seriously, how did they lose to the Kings without De'Aaron Fox? Or to the Denver Nuggets, who outside of Nikola Jokic have a G League roster? It's really concerning to see James Harden and Kyrie Irving struggle to coexist so much, especially considering how well they appeared to mesh while they shared the court last season. And there's still no timetable for Kevin Durant's return to the hardwood. But who's to blame? This shouldn't be a game of pointing fingers, but we have to acknowledge how much harder Kyrie Irving's vaccination status has made it for the Nets to succeed. We're not in any position to judge Irving by his vaccination choice, but his inability to be a consistent contributor for the Nets, as well as his unwillingness to change his stance on vaccination, have to be one of the main reasons why Brooklyn can't find any cohesion. It's hard enough for head coach Steve Nash to manage rotations and deal with all of their injuries. So Irving coming in and out of the starting lineup doesn't help matters. But then there's the Nets front office. They deserve a part of the blame as well. At the beginning of the season, they claimed they were supportive of Irving's personal decision and would proceed without him as an active player for the benefit of the team. That would be until he decided to change his mind on getting the jab, or the state of New York no longer required vaccination proof to attend indoor events. But after suffering a similar stretch of turbulence earlier this season, the front office decided they would reactivate Irving exclusively for away games, where his vaccination status didn't interfere with his ability to play, to try and boost the team. And you can't blame them, as Kyrie is one of the best players in the NBA. But they should have stood their ground regarding Irving's availability to avoid the chemistry issues we're witnessing at the moment. Can things get better once everyone's healthy and available? If last season was any indication, things can get better with everyone available. Since James Harden landed in Brooklyn via trade in January 2021, the Nets have an impressive 13-3 record when all of Harden, Durant, and Irving have played together. 3 of them shared the court as recently as January 13, 2022, when they blew out the Eastern Conference leading Chicago Bulls by almost 30 points. But you have to think that it's quite concerning that after a full calendar year, the Nets' big 3 only has 13 games together. Combination of untimely injuries and now Irving's vaccination status have left the Nets with only 2 out of their 3 superstar players available on most nights. Now, this isn't a pity party, as 2 of the 3 available superstars they have on most nights are all top 15 players in the league, but having that third lethal scorer has proven to make the Nets almost unbeatable. And unless Kyrie Irving changes his mind on vaccination, the big 3 won't share many games this season either. And you may believe real basketball doesn't start until the playoffs, which is true, but at this stage, we're not even sure the Nets can make the playoffs. And even if they do make it to the postseason, they would be playing without Irving for the potential 3 or 4 home games from each series. Therein lies the Nets' urge to get all their superstars on the court together. Don't go anywhere, because we're about to take a look at what the Nets can do to fix this mess. Could the team trade James Harden before the deadline? Another factor that has recently added to the Nets' already long list of issues are rumors regarding James Harden's unhappiness with his life in Brooklyn and his impending free agency. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, Kevin Durant wants Harden to stay in Brooklyn, and he expects everyone to be committed to winning a championship as he is. Some rumors have resurfaced, claiming Harden misses the Houston lifestyle. Plus, Kyrie Irving's inability to play every game has also led to him growing frustrated. Harden has, of course, denied these claims, and apparently he's told KD that he wants to be in Brooklyn Brooklyn. This comes after the Philadelphia 76ers made their intentions clear in wanting to land Harden either before the trade deadline or this offseason. The Beard isn't a stranger to the Sixers organization, as he has some close connections there. First and foremost, the team's front office is run by Daryl Morey, a longtime Houston Rockets executive that brought multiple stars like Dwight Howard and Chris Paul to please Harden in Houston. The former MVP is also very good friends with Sixers co-owner Michael Rubin, so there's definitely a way to Philadelphia if that's what Harden really wanted. Or the Sixers have shut down the idea of giving up any valuable assets other than Ben Simmons in a potential Harden trade. They believe the disgruntled Harden will walk away from the Nets anyway this summer in free agency. The cards are still on the table. What are the Nets' other options? Other than trading Harden, which again is extremely unlikely, the Nets don't have many options roster-wise. They'll probably be active in the buyout market as they've been these last few seasons. That was a solid source of depth as the Nets managed to acquire all of LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, and Paul Millsap on minimum deals. That's being bought out. This year's buyout market doesn't appear to be as juicy though, so Brooklyn probably won't have as much good luck this time. Durant, Irving, and Harden's salary cap hit alone is almost $122 million combined, which is way over the league's $112 million cap. Their only tradable role players are Joe Harris and Patty Mills, but they're unlikely to be dealt. Harris has been out since November after undergoing ankle surgery, and Mills is their most valuable and productive role player, so they can't afford to trade him. Other than chemistry issues, health has been a big problem for the Nets this season. LaMarcus Aldridge has missed 16 games, the exact same number as Durant. Harris only appeared in 14 games before going down with his ankle injury, and while Irving's reasons aren't injury related, he's appeared in only 11 contests so far. So honestly, the Nets have no other choice but to ride it out and hope their health and their stars' chemistry improves sooner than later. Why this chaos was always destined to happen. Believe it or not, ever since the Nets' big three came to be, a potential implosion was always destined to happen. All you had to do to realize this was look at these guys' track record. Kevin Durant, after winning 2 championships and final MVPs on the greatest team ever assembled, still felt empty because he hadn't done that by himself, and because his feelings got hurt when an angry Draymond Green reminded him the Warriors didn't need him. Kyrie Irving demanded a trade after winning a championship with a top 2 player in NBA history because he wanted to be the man, and then went to Boston, destroyed their chemistry and momentum, and left for nothing in free agency. James Harden was given 3 All-NBA stars in Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, and Russell Westbrook, but he ran them all out of Houston, then publicly demanded a trade after he couldn't get the job done, leaving the franchise in shambles. All these players are huge drama queens. The only way this trio could ever coexist is if everybody puts their ego aside and does whatever it takes to help the team win. And even though the big three has barely played together, there has still been tension among the star players regarding who should primarily handle the ball and get more touches on their spots. Sure, they've faced many injuries, and they could have never predicted a vaccination mandate would keep Kyrie Irving off their home court, but it feels like something else would have happened anyway that would have generated as much drama in Brooklyn. As things stand right now, the Nets still have enough star power to win a title, but with each passing day, their implosion appears to be more a matter of when than a matter of if. What are your thoughts on these Nets? Is this big three done? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.